Dissidia is back, but in the form of a mobile game, so let's talk about that. Alright, so filing this under information I didn't think was going to happen anytime soon. This was just random breaking news on a Saturday night. Square Enix officially announced that Dissidia is coming back, but in the form of a mobile game, which is kind of bittersweet, which we'll get to in a second. But I believe early last year, might have even been in 2023, I covered an article from Tetsuya Nomura where he talked about the future of Dissidia. He said it's not done. They're still trying to figure out what they want to do with it, but it will come back. Apparently, whatever this project is was probably what he was talking about. Now, I want to preface, I do genuinely love Dissidia. I put so much time into the first two Dissidias on my PSP. I played those games so much that I wore out the buttons on my PSP. I had to open up the PSP and clean and fix those buttons so they would work properly. That's how much I played those games. I'm also one of like 5 people that genuinely love Dissidia NT, which like 99% of the fan base hated, but I really enjoyed it. There was just something cool about going online and partnering up with 2 other people and fighting 3 real people. I had so much fun, especially when you found groups of people that were really good at the game on your team and on the other end. There was this really cool back and forth between the teams. I really enjoyed it. I put well over 200 hours into that game, which in the grand scheme of things for fighting games probably isn't that much, but for a niche arena fighter, I'd say that's pretty decent. I also played a decent amount of Opera Omnia before that inevitably got shut down. So I love this franchise. Whatever this mobile Dissidia is, again, it's bittersweet, but I'm gonna go into the announcement with, an open mind. Now, as for info, we actually got a decent amount of preview stuff to look at. So the official announcement's gonna hit on October 14th. That's a couple of days away. They're gonna have either a presentation or just a trailer, but something's gonna take place on YouTube. It's coming to iOS and Android. There's also the words Team Boss Battle Arena on the graphic that they shared on Twitter, which I have no clue what that means. Is it a hint at gameplay stuff? Is it people like doing the music? Is that gonna be the game's subtitle? Nobody really knows. But looking at the website, the first thing I want to mention, and this is the most positive thing so far, they're playing music from this upcoming game. And there's like 10 different tracks that you can cycle through. They're remixes of classic Final Fantasy tunes. Like there's a really great one of Eyes on Me that is this awesome like upbeat battle theme. They took Let the Battles Begin and the main theme of FF7 and remixed that. All of the background music so far sounds really, really good. High energy, funky electronic stuff that just sounds really, really good and fits what could be a fighting game. And looking at the website, they do give us some glimpses of some landscapes, which kind of might play into the aesthetic of what the game is going to be. So they show stuff like the Eiffel Tower, there's what looks like the streets of maybe what could be Tokyo, there's like a park setting, we see all of these buildings, and the vibe I'm getting so far, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the character portraits that they also tease, but this is just me speculating. I think what they might do is that they might take these classic Final Fantasy characters that we all know and love and maybe give them a modern day redesign so they fit into a modern day setting, because everything they're teasing so far looks very modern day. There's like a modern day motorcycle, there's somebody sitting at a cafe having coffee, there's shots of boots, there's what could be Kane or a farming on top of the Eiffel Tower, there's somebody with a camera who is very clearly Prompto from Final Fantasy 15, but the clothing is different, and in turn the silhouettes of some of these characters are also different. But it's just interesting when you look at the website, you look at all of these different landscapes, there's different point of interests that you can click on that give you those tiny images of the motorcycle, which probably belongs to Cloud. There's a shot that's clearly Rinoa, but slightly redesigned with her outfit. There's the camera, like I mentioned, with Prompto. There's these white boots, which could belong to Lightning. There's a shopping bag with the word Artemis on it. There's a flyer with a man and his dog running around. There's a lot of different clues that could pertain to different characters from the Final Fantasy universe. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, looking at the teaser for the character portraits and who these could possibly be, again, taking into consideration this potential redesign we might see with these characters, it would explain why their silhouettes look a little bit different. So, starting off on the top left-hand corner, I've seen some people speculate that this might be Irvine or Irvine, depending on how you like to pronounce it, from Final Fantasy VIII, because he did have a cowboy hat, but I don't know if they'd put him in there. It could potentially be Kane. And again, we saw that shot of what looked like Kane Aura farming on the top of the Eiffel Tower, so maybe he's going to get some sort of cowboy western redesign. I don't really know. The second one some people are speculating might be Terra from Final Fantasy VI. The third slot I assumed was Auron from Final Fantasy X, and it looks like it could be Auron. I've seen some people say, what if it's Clive from 16? So that one's kind of up in the air. The next one very much looks like Lightning. After Lightning, it looks like Rinoa, and again, there is pretty much confirmation that Rinoa is in the game. There is that quick shot like I mentioned earlier. Bottom left is this amorphous blob. I have no idea who this could be. I've seen people on Reddit say maybe it's Jill from Final Fantasy 16, although it's just kind of a weird silhouette. It doesn't look human, so I'm a little confused. There's a cat person who I don't recognize. The next is obviously Cloud. We would know that hair anywhere, but again, his clothing looks a little different. It looks like he's got a collar going on. After that, I assumed it was Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, but again, the clothing and the silhouette is a little different, but if they're redesigning their outfits, that would make sense. The final slot has to be Prompto from Final Fantasy 15. He's got the hair, he's got the gun, it's most definitely him. So far that's 10 characters that they teased for this new Dissidia. The thing is, we don't know what this game is gonna be. Is this going to be another arena fighter but on mobile? Is this going to be a new attempt at a Dissidia Opera Omnia where they use turn-based mechanics and still incorporate the bravery and HP system in this game? Is it going to be more along the lines of the turn-based stuff we saw in Ever Crisis? Is this going to be Dissidia Go, where we're going around capturing monsters or Final Fantasy characters or dueling other people who live in our area? Or is it going to be like that new Monster Hunter mobile game, which is essentially just console Monster Hunter, but on a smartphone? So I have no idea what they're going to do. For me personally, again, I love Dissidia. I'm happy that it's back and that it's not dead, but this is not quite how I wanted it to come back. I very much either wanted them to do another arena fighter, or, you know, my dream would be to see like a 1v1 fighting game or a 2v2 fighting game done by Arc System Works. They are the people that do Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear. Their games are gorgeous. They're some of the best looking games I think out there. So to see Final Fantasy with that more heavy anime aesthetic but doing super cool moves in a proper 1v1 fighting game, I think would be sick. Clearly they're not going to do that. We have no idea what this is even going to be, but with it being mobile, obviously that does make people, including myself, super hesitant, because Square Enix doesn't have the greatest of track records when it comes to mobile games. A lot of them have been shuttered within the past few years, and a lot of fans have been really upset, rightfully so, because they're pouring their own hard-earned money into a lot of these games. But unfortunately, outside of Japan, a lot of these games just don't do very well, and mobile gaming in general is not something I'm super into. Even Ever Crisis, I'm playing that on my computer. I don't really want to play that on my phone, and when it comes to mobile games, I do not like touchscreen controls. It feels wrong. I feel so disconnected from what I'm playing. I attempted to play some of the older Sonic games and Streets of Rage games on my phone. It was cool that I could do it, but the touchscreen controls just did not feel good. So if this is going to be like an arena fighter with touchscreen controls, I don't know if I would really enjoy that. And as of right now, again, we don't know anything else about this project until we get to that reveal on Tuesday. So I don't really know what to expect. Maybe it will be another gacha game from Square. Maybe it'll be something that actually ends up being super cool and successful. And maybe if this comes out and it's well received, which so far is not great, a lot of people, rightfully so, are disappointed, because a lot of us wanted, you know, a newer Dissidia, but on the console front, like a proper either 1v1, which I know a lot of people really want, arena fighter, or which I was, you know, talking about earlier, like a proper, you know, traditional fighter. But if this comes out and if it does maybe well, it could maybe reignite the brand that is Dissidia, which could lead to something else happening on the console side of things. So again, I'm going to try and stay positive and be open-minded for whatever this could possibly be, but we won't know for sure until Tuesday, which is only a few days away. So I'm thinking I'll probably do I'm thinking a reaction video. If they put out a trailer, that could provide for content to like watch and analyze and just kind of get an idea of what they're trying to do with this game. What's the gameplay going to be? Is there going to be gacha elements? You know, why put it on mobile, I guess is the bigger question. Are they just trying to gauge interest on the Dissidia brand? Is this just a test? Was this the only route for Dissidia to come back? Nobody really knows. But with that being said, that is the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you're somebody who really loves Dissidia. What are you thinking so far of this surprise announcement of a new Dissidia coming to mobile? Are you excited? Are you worried? Are you in between? Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know what you think the roster for this game is going to be. Some of those silhouettes look pretty obvious. Other ones, again, are a little hard to make out, but let me know in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.